Intimate relations in a couple presuppose the highest trust between a man and a woman. After all, there is nowhere closer at the physical level. However, if there is no complete trust at the emotional, psychological level, then physical intimacy does not always meet expectations, does not bring the desired pleasure. And trusting relationships may not be formed with years of living together. There are some features, understanding which you can adjust the situation. Why a woman cannot trust a man. Women more often ask questions about intimate trust in a partner. In most cases, a man gets his physical pleasure from sexual intercourse. But a woman without an emotional component and full trust is difficult to relax, liberate, and maximize the enjoyment of sexual intimacy. There are reasons for a woman's inability to open up to her partner, and the first one is childhood trauma. They can be conscious and unconscious. If in front of the girl's eyes the father or stepfather beat, insulted, humiliated her mother, then fear and distrust towards men is expected and understandable. Or if the mother raised the child alone, without a man she could rely on. Or maybe, unhappy in a couple relationship, she directly or indirectly indoctrinated her daughter that all men are you-know-who and can't be trusted. Having grown up and experienced difficulties in intimate relationships, the woman herself often finds the reason for this. The brain perceives information on two levels, conscious and sensory. All foul words are directly related to sex, and they are used mainly to express acute negative emotions, insults, threats, humiliation. Consciously, a person understands that with this word, someone simply swore rudely, and unconsciously, there is a certain superimposition of direct meaning and emotional coloring. So it turns out that everything related to sex, imperceptibly for the person, begins to associate with something dirty, humiliating, threatening. Imagine that a little girl, who is just forming ideas about couple relationships, hears such words from the most important man in her life, her father, addressed to herself, or to her mother, or to a stranger, or maybe accidentally blurted out. It doesn't matter. They can stay with her forever, instilling an unconscious fear and loathing of coitus between a man and a woman. Already, an adult woman consciously does not consider insult something bad. But unconsciously, there is fear and rejection. As a result, in bed, she cannot trust even her favorite man. The body as if shrinks and does not want to relax and respond to caresses. Even worse, if her partner allows himself to express himself in front of her with a swear word, or she herself uses these words. Unpleasant residue from failed past relationships, painful memories, experiences of abuse or mistreatment can all affect a person's ability to trust a new partner. For some people, the impact of events from the past is particularly strong. It's a mental trait of theirs. They remember everything in detail, often mentally revisit the past, reliving everything almost as strongly, tend to generalize and expect a repetition of what has already happened. This is such a quality, to memorize and retain information. It is best if it is used maximally in professional activity or in some other social realization for learning and preferably subsequent transfer of knowledge. For example, mentoring, teaching one's children, analytical works, writing or creating some methodical materials, instructions. Otherwise, it can be very difficult for a person not to return to the experience of personal experience, not to succumb to its negative influence on the ability to build relationships in the present. Emotional closedness can come from childhood. For example, parents, bringing up, forbade an emotional child to show his feelings, to cry, to pity others, or the first childhood love was ridiculed by peers, or even more so by the object of affection, can be a reaction to the painful experiences of an adult. Having experienced severe mental anguish, a woman can emotionally close herself off from others in order not to be burned again, but in the end, and light feelings she does not fully experience. And without sensual intimacy and openness, will not be able to trust a sexual partner. In the modern world, a woman is able to provide for herself, but in a couple, she still gets a sense of security and safety from a man. Material provision is part of it. But, in addition to it, it is important for a woman to feel confident in her man, that he will be there when needed, will support, help, protect. Not always a woman in a relationship gets this feeling. It happens that a man is a threat, beats, intimidates, manipulates. Often a woman is not confident enough in her companion, cannot rely on him completely. This may be because he does not provide adequately for the family. A woman may be afraid that he will leave her, fall out of love, betray her. A woman may doubt that he will support her, will not leave her alone with difficulties, will take her side in a conflict. It is worth noting that it happens the other way too. A man tries, does everything necessary, but a woman does not understand his psychological features and therefore does not know what he is capable of and what he is not, what to expect from him and what cannot be counted on. This makes the other person as if a stranger, or she herself is in a troubled mental state, excessively anxious, emotional. This also does not allow the partner to fully trust, open up. With insufficient trust in the couple, a woman may feel insecure in herself, in her attractiveness and sexual skills. At the beginning of the relationship, this is a common phenomenon. Gradually getting used to the man, she becomes more confident and open. But sometimes, even after months and years of relationship, she cannot overcome this internal barrier. She is embarrassed to tell her partner about her intimate preferences, ideas, desires, can flatly refuse his offers of something unusual. She worries that she may look ridiculous, ugly, funny, stupid in bed with a man, and therefore cannot relax. Trusting conversations with a partner could help to understand, get rid of far-fetched anxieties and worries, gain confidence. But such conversations usually do not come either because of the lack of trust in the couple, or because the woman feels ashamed of everything related to sex. Women's shame is a separate serious topic. It may surprise many people, but it is more difficult for a man to fully disclose himself to his partner. Yes, usually a man takes active steps to get closer, shows interest, and courts. But most often he is not ready to talk to his partner about his intimate experiences. What are the reasons for male closeness? Men as well as women are affected by the above psycho-emotional traumas, negative experiences of past relationships and reticence. And with the latter in men are often worse, because in the understanding of others, the girl is still forgivable to cry and show strong feelings, and the boy supposedly should be stable and emotionally more restrained. Only emotionality does not depend on gender. It is given by nature quality, which if it is, should find a way out. It is often difficult for a man to ask his partner for something that diverges from the generally accepted concepts and traditions. There are times when it is difficult for a woman to accept the peculiarities of a man that she does not understand. For example, some men may enjoy submitting to a woman, sometimes a certain amount of rudeness on her part. The fear of appearing in the eyes of a woman not manly or skillful enough is familiar to most men. There are times when a man is not looking for any new sensations in bed, not because he does not trust the partner, but because he is most pleasant to what is familiar, in which he is completely confident. If a woman does not know the peculiarities of a man's psyche, it is difficult for her to figure out whether it is a norm or a deviation. It is the woman who has more potential to make the relationship in a couple as close and trusting as possible. It is naturally easier for her to open up emotionally when she is not hindered by any psychological problems. The first step in a couple to get closer is usually made by her. He gradually gets involved and responds. Some men need more time for this. 2 active steps on the part of a woman can only push them away. Gently, gradually, in moments of special emotional closeness, to start conversations on personal topics, moving to intimate experiences and wishes. In the psyche of a man is laid the desire to enjoy his woman, so if she acts correctly, he will definitely respond. Any peculiarities of human behavior, including sexual preferences, are conditioned by his psyche. When a woman understands the peculiarities of her man's psyche, she can guess his desires and preferences, even if he is closed for some reason. She is able to find the right words and actions to make him want to listen to her desires. What do you need to do for trust in a couple? First of all, you need to establish emotional intimacy. Sexual attraction is what a man and a woman are attracted to initially, some kind of base, but attraction itself doesn't last very long. For a strong, trusting relationship is important to build an emotional connection, through which the two share personal experiences, feelings, dreams, worries, ideas, memories, all those things that they are ready to tell only to the closest person. This relationship is formed gradually, step by step, and it is usually easier for a woman to be the initiator. If a partner knows what you have on your soul, it is much easier to disclose to him bodily. Conversations on sexual topics in a couple are mandatory, at least until you learn to understand each other without words. And this is real. You need to focus your attention on your partner. When a person is fixated on his problems and worries, including in the intimate sphere, it is difficult to relax alone with the other half. If he thinks first of all about the partner, about how to give him pleasure, his own worries and anxieties go to the background. Everything about the couple's relationship remains and is discussed within the couple. Keeping the dust out of the house is a wisdom proven over the centuries. You cannot dedicate outsiders to the problems between the partners. The problems will remain, and trust will gradually dissipate. And in all the details, to share happy romantic experiences with third parties is also not worth it. It is better to once again tell the chosen one how you are with him well. Each person has different values, preferences, desires, and therefore an approach is needed different. It is necessary to be able to accept the difference between yourself and your partner to get rid of misunderstandings and mistrust in the couple. The best part is when both are focused on this. Intimacy in a couple goes to a new level. After all, we love what we ourselves understand and those who understand us. Experienced emotional traumas, bad experiences, psychological attitudes, all these things have already happened. But by realizing their influence on the current state and behavior, you can gradually get rid of it. Sometimes it is enough to understand and monitor this influence. Sometimes additional actions are required to direct the innate qualities in the right direction.